manifesting a new paradigm on the One Network. And so this is an interview with Maha-tara Youssef, and we've come here today, an interview for the One Network, to discuss the new book release of the diaries, the intimate diaries of Maha-tara Youssef. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's our honor. Oh, your picture went off and on. So, you know, Maha-tara, I'd like to invite you, as you mentioned earlier in our conversation, you put out to the world that this book was completed, and I know how much effort it takes to do a book. And I was very inspired by your free spirit. I totally resonate with that. And I did particularly like the story of you just packed it up, left the United States, came to Morocco, had a dream, pulled in absolutely everything you asked for, and then alongside that, your cultural background, of course, magic. Africa, we know this continent as magic. So any and all of those aspects, whatever's in your heart, I would love to hear from you.
Yeah, so you gave it a really good rundown. I guess I would definitely say some of the most interesting parts about this journey is that I don't actually notice how interesting they are until people ask, why are you in Morocco? You don't speak French, you don't speak Arabic, you don't know anybody here. And then once I go to kind of tell the story, then the response is like, oh my gosh, you just came to a strange place with your children. And I notice when people travel, they usually leave their children behind to go off and find themselves. And then they come back, I guess, after some time to their children found. But I didn't want to do this. I wanted to find myself with my children. And every experience I have, I want them to experience it also, so we can grow and develop together as a little team, a little bubble. So that's really been just people's response to it, which I guess is why I even wrote the book, just so that people can have more understanding, more in-depth understanding of, it wasn't, just peaches and cream. There were a couple challenges along the way, but I am a strong advocate of prayer. I pray all the time, just all day long. So I always push prayer. However you pray, it works.
Totally agree. And I love that that you decided in your youthfulness to take a journey of this nature. And you had made a comment, so often people wait till they retire. They wait till later,
Right.
Or whatever we call the golden years. And I love that message that you're sharing with the world to, hey, if it's in your heart, and even if your children are young, pick them on up and go on. Now, this is...
Yeah,
Go ahead.
no, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, has this freedom spirit in you, it's been nurtured all along. And... would you attribute this to your upbringing, or just to you were turned on and aware as you came into this world?
I would probably a little bit of both. I was definitely turned on and aware. In the book, in the beginning of the book, I talk a lot more about magic and mystical elements that I was born with and that have taken place in my life. That have made my upbringing different, being able to foresee the future, being able to read minds, dimensional jumping in dreams, kind of things like that. So I had all of that along the way ever since I was a baby. But when I came to Morocco, it all stopped. And that was the thing that made it so interesting, because for the last few years, I've lived like a normal human being. I can't see anything. I don't know what's ahead. And it's been an interesting experience not to have the same gifts and abilities that I depended on my whole life. So that's one element of it. And I guess it was just time to exist normally for a little while. But the other aspect of that is my mom took us to Africa many times as we were growing up. And the African culture, obviously, which is very different than the nowadays American culture, is the community. You know, when something is wrong, the community cares. They want to assist you. And when I knew I wanted to leave America, I didn't actually think about going to any other country but Africa. You know, I didn't know where in Africa. So, you know, I had to do a little, you know, it was a little magic kind of happening to get me to Morocco. But I knew I wanted to be around a people that cared, that really operated from their heart. And that was, but it was my mom taking me to Africa since I was like 12, you know, back and forth, that made me realize that if I have to move somewhere and give my children something, it's going to be love, not just from me, but from everyone around them. And that's, well, you're in Morocco, so you know exactly how it is. It's amazing.
Yes, it is. It is. The heartfulness and the exchange here has been just beyond. And I think it's really having a beautiful effect on our own community. That we are really assisting and being more sensitive to each other as a result of it. However, that's interesting what you said about having all these intuitive abilities and then coming here to Africa and bringing it back into your heart. Because I've been trying to understand that bridge myself. It's like we're very aware. You can feel the potency. Yet everything keeps pushing us back into our hearts. and like what you said, came here to be human. Well, I've been trying to do that all my life.
Right. It's when we first came to Morocco, you know, I didn't speak any French at all, Arabic, Darija, just English. And bits of Choctaw and Cherokee from my mom, relearning the language and teaching it to us. Because that's my mom's lineage is Native American. I think that I've told you that. But when we came, they were so sweet and so patient with me, just trying to figure out and stumbling and playing with my translator. And it was, I mean, I was frustrated, but they were just like, no, c'est bon. I was like, okay, we can do this, you know, but not without a few tears. But it just happened and opened up so beautifully. And I usually go for the path of least resistance. When I see that things are just moving, that's where I head. And it's been so far so good. That's what I can say.
Well, I certainly got that from just some of your blogs, just the essence, the upliftment, and I got to see your children, beautiful children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and everyone looks really happy.
Yeah.
And then I came across some of your music recording. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, my family is full of artists. My sister is Maha-tara Youssef, and I would probably say because we grew up in the same house, a lot of her music talks exactly about what I'm feeling, precisely because our upbringing is the same, our experiences have been the same, our frustrations are the same, you know. So on the website, Gypsy, I think is the song that comes up. See, woman, angelic disguise. I have holy water running between my thighs. It's like, it is, I mean, but because my sister wrote it, then it's like, yes! And having the name Urban Mystic Gypsy, I thought it was a nice song to introduce the website.
Well, I also noticed the chapter that you introduced of your book, right? What was the title? Orgasm. And what was the title of that chapter? Chapter 5, I think it was.
5 orgasm minimum is the name of the game.
Yeah, there we go. And I thought, okay, this girl is right out on the front line. I like this. And I love what you had to say about that. You know, your sensitivity. And what I read from that is your deeper spiritual self, seeking that very deep intimacy and communion. And I think, you know, if you'd like to speak about that a little bit, I think that's something, that's a truth that we do need to share more openly with each other.
Yeah, definitely. I would begin by saying, for anyone who hasn't had a chance to connect or pick up the book, what I really wanted to do in this book is to give you really dynamic pieces of who I am within the 270 pages of the book. And there's so many elements to human beings and to me particularly. And so there's parts in there where I talk about my magical experiences, living in different dimensions, almost kind of simultaneously. There's parts I talk about the challenges in parenting, you know, without putting chemicals into your baby. There's relationship parts, you know, as, you know, I left and separated from my children's father. That's a whole nother space that women have to, you know, overcome when you think you're in a direction with somebody and then it kind of separates, you split off. And the sexual piece is a really big piece. It's something that I find to be so important and necessary because I have done spiritual life coaching just because I could see into people, you know, with permission, of course. It would give me a chance to just almost connect onto your body just to see what was going on with you. And I always realized that many, many, many people, they want to do spiritual work and to align the chakras, but they always jump over that second chakra, that sexual one, because there's so much pain there that they just like, I'll get back to that and keep trying to go up. But you can't go up because that one is still really holding you down. And it's just not healed, or the energy and it's not clear. And when I started my sexual journey, I didn't like it. I thought it was the worst thing in the world. And I was appalled at how terrible the experience was. And he didn't do anything wrong. I just couldn't understand why people liked it. And so my mom has a million books. So she goes through her library and, you know, you should read this, you know, the sexual, what is it? The Tao of Sexology, Cultivating Female Sexuality, the Kama Sutra, all of these, you know, different books on spirituality with sexuality and how to use sexuality as a form of healing, how to have multiple orgasms. And so in the book, I talk a lot about that. I found a sexual partner. He wasn't my boyfriend, but I needed someone to figure this journey out with. He was very beautiful. Very beautiful. So it made it easy. And we went through these books. And, you know, I'm a person, as you can see, I love having fun. I love laughing. I love enjoying life. And I think that even if you're on a journey, like a sexual one, it should be fun. It should be something that is comfortable. You know, it shouldn't be, you know, like under the covers. I grew up Muslim, you know, so there's a lot of this cliche about sexuality and you have to hide from God and turn the lights off and get under the covers so no one can see you, you know, this type of thing. But I think completely opposite. I think that you should really embrace your sexuality. And I feel like that is what will take you over the top. It will take you higher into your spirituality. I am such a strong believer in that. And even when I was experiencing and going through trying to get my first orgasm, you know, we were in those books and your leg here and like see on page, you know, we were like going through it. And after we got it, it started happening. The orgasm started happening. And then I realized that a lot of women aren't experiencing this. They're in relationships, they're in marriages, and many, many, many years. And the sexuality part is just more of a duty than a liberation or an enjoyment or a pleasure. And so I began to teach holistic sexual awakening, where we're really, reclaiming that sexuality and having fun with it, and dancing and loving our bodies, no matter what your body looks like, loving it and really going into the bedroom prepared to take complete charge.
Right on, right on.
So, a lot of that is in the book.
Well, it's beautiful, because the only way that we really learn is when we share our intimate stories. You being so open and honest about that, that is something that we can receive and resonate with. And I couldn't agree with you more. And I love the encouragement. And I, too, being in Morocco and with the Muslim energetics, I've been trying to clarify my own sensitivity to those kinds of messages. And perhaps maybe you could give me a little more insight. Because, the women that I'm traveling with, the ones that aren't from here, we're kind of curious. It's like, where are the women, their presence, their sexuality, their self-empowerment? How are you experiencing that with the women in the environment?
Well, I can definitely say, in general, religion is just one of those energies that was not set up or intended to empower women. If anything, it was intended to do completely the opposite, to suffocate the femininity, the divine goddess, and just make her as quiet and muffled and invisible as possible. You don't see it so much in Morocco, but we were walking down the street one day, and my daughter, she was about 9 at the time, she said, "Mommy, I notice here that the men are always laughing and having a really good time drinking coffee, and the women always look very sad, but not you. You don't look sad." I said, honey. I'm in this life to have a good time. I'm not going to be in no crappy relationship just because. And it was interesting from the observation of a 9-year-old that is what she saw. And it was kind of the reason. I love Morocco and I love being there. But right now I'm on a year of a selfless journey. So I'm going from country to country, volunteering on organic farms, meeting new people. We have 9 countries we're going to within 2015 with the girls. And it was after that conversation that I realized that I couldn't really stay in Morocco because it is a Muslim country, and the oppression of women is like running amok on this planet. And I can't raise my children in an environment where I am the most uplifted woman. I'm the most outspoken. I'm the one that laughs the loudest, the one that wears the brightest colors. And I don't know, it's the people are beautiful and the culture is beautiful, but I would definitely say that it still operates as a Muslim country, not as strict as like Saudi Arabia and some of the other Muslim countries, but it's still a Muslim country. They're still operating in a religion that is just not for our betterment. And to stay there for a long period of time or to marry someone in that culture, you are going to have to fall into line with the culture, which means they're here and you're going to be here. And when you try to go up, they're going to keep pushing it down. I was in a relationship with a Moroccan man. It's in the book. It's very fun. It's very intimate and beautiful. And he was by far the most amazing, beautiful-hearted man I have ever met in my life. And as the relationship started going, it was a year, which the book only talks about the first year. So this part is not in the book. he mentioned he wanted to get married. And as we kind of started talking about what we were expected to do as husbands and wives, I realized that it was going really good. And then we started going here and started splitting off, because my place as his wife would have been to have more babies. He wanted 6 babies. 6 babies.
This is 6 in addition to your 2?
No. I said, wait, is that 4 more on top of my 2?
Yeah.
I said, maybe you will get 1, but 4 more, 6? No. Cooking, cleaning, being in the house, being aware, being present for him is, even though he was a very beautiful person, he was not going to be the one man in that country that had a wife that spoke her mind, promoted orgasm, sexual healing, traveled around the world, wearing bright colors. He wasn't going to be that person. It was okay as his girlfriend, but as his wife, I would have needed to fall in line, which means I would have been here and he would have been there. And it broke my heart to pieces. And I just told him, I said, I'm sorry, that's not a future that I foresee for myself. I am who I am. I love it. I've worked hard to get to where I am, and I want to keep growing. And if we marry, I'm done. I'm going to be stuck right there with all those babies.
Well, as you're sharing this, what's going through my mind is, did you write the book? Was it, incited from your experience, the Muslim experience, or had you written the book before you came out to Africa and had your boyfriend?
No, I was in Morocco for 1 full year first, and then I started writing the book in the second year.
Okay.
So the book is based on the first year. And I grew up Muslim in America, and I can definitely say, if you love your religion, if you are Muslim in America and you love being Muslim, Morocco is the place to be, because Islam there is softer, it's gentle, it's easy. No one, in America, they're very strict on, you have to cover up and, make this image to be closer to God, to Allah. When in Morocco, that's not the case. You don't have to cover your hair to be Muslim. You don't have to wear an overgarment to be Muslim. And even the women who wear the overgarments, their overgarments are tight with splits. And they're still Muslim. And I grew up Muslim, so my last name, Youssef, in America, is a threat, and I always get those random bus checks, those random search. You've been randomly selected by our computer, for an extra pat down, to be held. And in Morocco, it's not like that. When they look at my passport and they see this long Muslim African name, they're like, oh, Salam, welcome home. Do you need help? And I feel like as a Muslim in America, that feels amazing. That element to go to a country where your name is actually helpful for you than to your demise. I told my mom, I said, why couldn't I have a last name like Thompson or Wilson or Johnson? I don't want to be in America with a Muslim name. And my mom's like, it will get better, sweetie. But now I'm happy, that I didn't change my name.
Good.
So in that element of being Muslim, Morocco is a great country to feel. You don't have to worry about pork being in anything. You don't have to, even all the candy, none of it has pork. All the meat is halal. So it's very easy to be Muslim there. I can say that. To be a woman, no. A liberated woman, no, it's not going to be easy there. But you just have to really find out what works best. What is it that you desire? And, go from there, really.
Oh, that's beautiful. Such helpful information, too. In regards to your book, what are you hoping, when you think about your viewers, Who do you think your book is reaching out to, and who do you want to reach out to?
Mm. I would maybe perhaps I would say the people who have gotten the book and have commented have kind of been, I guess, in an age range in their 20s to 40s. I don't know if an older generation, like my mom's generation, would understand the book or the language it's written in, because I wrote the book. I self-published the book because I wanted you to feel very close to the book. I wanted you to feel close to me, to the experience. And I wrote the book as I talk. So when you're reading it, it would be as if you picked up someone's journal. It's like that. It's written in that format. It's just a book, you know. And I would probably I hope that it would connect with mothers, with younger women who who have children, because being able to set the next generation on the right track, I feel, would make the biggest difference in our evolution, you know, as spiritual beings. And if we, as moms in our 20s and 30s, bringing these little babies up, if we don't take stand and responsibility and take charge of their mind and what they're seeing, what they're thinking, what they're eating, what they're experiencing, then the media will. And we're pretty much a done society at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I definitely hope the book, it would be very easy to connect with the book if you're a single mom, because when you're a single mom and the relationship that you intended to work, that you knew you were going to have a partner with, doesn't work for you, it shifts something in your body. It breaks your heart, you know, and then you just have to pick up whatever pieces you can find from your broken heart, tuck them in your pocket, and just push. You know, you are the mother, you're the father, you are the playmate, you're everything to that child, and it's overwhelming, you know. And if you're not having fun as the mother, the child sees it. They see you crying, they see you frustrated, they see you annoyed and agitated, which is just, you know, they feel like a burden, and then they become, you know, annoyed, agitated adults. Don't we have enough of those?
And we wonder where they come from. You know?
Right. And I don't have a lot of money. I'm not a millionaire, you know. And people always say, how did you travel? How are you traveling right now without any money? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how to give you an answer for that. All I can tell you is my only mission and objective in this life since I've had children is to give them everything, but not to keep them, but for them not to be captured and hostage and not to be slaves. That is my thing. So I don't have big desires to be the #1 published book. I just wanted to share my experience. My only thought every single day is, what country can I take the girls to? What could they do in this country? What could, you know, oh, they want to see a koala. Okay, let me figure out how to get to them to a koala. And I teach dance. I teach yoga. I was teaching English in Soweto. I do hair. I have a lot of different skills. I make jewelry. And so if there's any skill as an artist that I have that I can use to make money, to buy my next ticket to my next location, I will use it. And that's what I would have to really offer. It's sometimes you have to just go for it, you know, and take God with you. Because I don't know how I will get by without praying. Yeah. So I don't know, for people who don't pray or don't believe, I don't know what their experiences are like. But I am a strong believer. I pray constantly. I'm always giving thanks for every single thing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And now, you know, we're in France. And after France, we're intending to go to Portugal, and then to London, to Ireland, to Scotland, to Italy, and to Greece. and we're going to finish the year probably between India and Japan. And that's my 2015.
That
So,
is, and you mentioned that this is an intentional, selfless journey. Yes.
it is. It
And
is. I'm just gonna.
I mean, I can feel your bubbles. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised there's bubbles coming through our cameras right now.
Right.
Your energy and light is absolutely wonderful. I'm honored to be in the presence of you.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes, maybe more about the selfless journey, because I know that comes from our hearts.
Mhm.
And if you could speak a little bit more to how you got inspired to go on this journey.
Um, when I was in Morocco, I think I had just gotten to a place where I felt I was living in a very small town, Essaouira, and I was feeling like I had gotten to a space where I couldn't expand anymore as an artist, as a woman. I couldn't really get into another relationship there. It would just be a spiraling circle. Um, and I was just sitting and I was thinking, I'm not ready to go back to America. I still want to see more. I want to do more. I want to give the girls more. What should I do? And I think I was like just kind of searching, and someone had mentioned to me that they had signed up for a dance exchange. If you buy your ticket to the country, you can work teaching handicapped children different dance styles and techniques. And I was like, wow, but it was in Cambodia. And I was like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And so I started just kind of looking around. And I think CNN Travel has something where you can travel the world in service, you know? And when I went to look at some of their websites, it's all over the world. There are people that open their homes up to helpers. You know, you help on building earth ships, you help with organic farming, you help take care of children. You are just there and you can stay, you know, and it's an exchange, housing, food for help. And I thought, oh, okay, this could work.
That's my ticket all around the world.
Right. Yeah, and you know, Ryanair is amazing to travel through Europe because you can get tickets for like 15, 20 euro if you catch it at the right time.
Yes.
And I looked at one space. This is where magic comes in, and I love it so much. I looked at one blog, one little insert, and the woman was just kind of talking. And when I first read her space, I thought, I like this lady. I would like to meet her. And she was the reason I signed up for the company. It was about $30. And I signed up for the company and I emailed her particularly and said, hey, I'll be in France. I have 2 children, you know, da 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 da. And that's actually where I am right now. And we connected and we sent messages back and forth, and I sent to other people also, but they were like, no, you know, we don't have space for children. We don't know if it'll work. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. But it was this one particular lady I actually just had the energy to connect with. And I'm sitting in her house now doing this interview. And she's my first selfless service blessing. Let me say that. My first selfless service blessing. And I want to give this to my children. I want them to see that you can live an exchange. You know, you have something, I have something. It doesn't need to be complicated. We can operate from our heart. We can exchange love, compassion, generosity, nurturing. And that's what people need. That's what people want. And so I just kind of looked around at other places on the map that I've always dreamt of going. And I was going to try to go like once a year on my birthday. And then I thought, no, 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 I'm not waiting. I'm going to push this thing. So every couple of months, I'll stay for about 6 weeks with each family from another country and just offer what I can, you know, the service that I can offer them in exchange for a roof and internet.
Well, I'm very inspired. And as you're talking, I'm thinking, my gosh, you could write a whole travel book, you know?
Well, yeah, you know, we're actually going to start a children's series. And that's what I wanted to do because I think grown-ups, I don't want to say that we're hopeless. We're not. But the children, is where it's going to really make a change in our reality, in our planet. And my daughters, Nana Maya, asked me, how come you're working on your book so much? When do we get to work on a book? And I said, you guys want to write a book? They said, yeah, we're traveling. We want people to know what we're doing. So
Yes.
we're in the process of starting a series called The Adventures of Nana Maya. And every country we go to, we'll have a book for that country. And so we have 3 books already we're working on. Let's go to Morocco. Let's go to Spain. Let's go to France. And so I think it'll be really beautiful because it'll be written by children. I'll be typing, but I'll just type what they say. As long as you can understand it. But it's really a good idea because it opens the children up to the world, you know, like, oh, and they're not fictional characters, they're real children,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And they're people that you can connect with and say, oh, Nana Maya, Nana Maya. And especially for American children, I think it's really a big deal to see this book because many books, when we were growing up, my mom, she was very much into self-autonomy, honoring and seeing yourself everywhere. So all of our books had to do with African Native culture and history. But a lot of the African books that talk about African Americans, they weren't happy books. They weren't fun books. They were all very sad colonization books. Yeah. And I didn't really like that as a child. I was wondering, how come, you know, Walt Disney has all the great stories? You know, we can't watch Walt Disney, and we have the cotton field stories. I don't want this, you know?
Yeah.
And so giving American children, especially brown American children, something to look at, you know, geography in its best through the eyes of other children. You know, the thing that makes, you know, when we go, rabbits make my children happy, you know, horses, riding a camel makes my children happy. Right. So being able to give that to other children, I really feel it will inspire many people to travel, you know, and just to, you know, even once a year, you know, tax season comes around every year. Take that tax money and buy a ticket. So we are definitely working on a nice chunk of books right now.
Oh, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of us who are listening, how do we keep up with you, Maha-tara? How do we follow all this beautiful communication you're offering to the world?
Well, I'm not big on technology, so I don't have Twitter or Instagram. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I'm trying to just stay in the dark ages as much as possible. Facebook is a really good way to stay connected. The book, The Intimate Diaries, actually, you know, I just had a copy mailed. Here's my book.
Oh, wow, oh, congratulations. That's beautiful.
It's available right now at lulu.com.
Okay.
I think in a few weeks it will be, I sent it into a distribution company. So I think in a few weeks, possibly it would be available on Amazon and Kindle and things like that. But for right now, it's available at Lulu. And also, the thing that's great is if people purchase the book, it will add money to our travels because I would get a percentage of the book sales. Okay. So that would be super wonderful.
Okay, that sounds good.
And appreciative. But between Lulu, Facebook, and Maha-tara you know, I was also planning to do some spiritual yoga retreats in Morocco, which I thought would be really a good idea, because if you read the book and you're feeling, you know, I want to make a shift, I want to make a change, but you know, you have that little feeling, I'm a little nervous, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do. The retreat is a way to come. It's very small and intimate, so only about 10, 12 people. But it's a way to come. I'll be with you the whole time. We'll be talking about the book, talking about healing, how to really shift energy blockages and move through that so you're getting the best experience of this life, you know? We'll do full moon ceremonies. We'll do yoga, mantras, meditations. So it's a full jam-packed retreat. It's 11 days. And it's on all the information's on the website.
Yes, I did see
For the
that.
price. Yeah, for the price and what's included in the package. And you can bring your children because, again, I am a strong advocate of take your babies with you.
I know.
Don't leave them and go and find yourself. Find yourself with them. And it makes such a big difference to the child and to the development of the parent to take your babies with you. And I know it seems like, well, how can I breathe, if they're just around me all the time? Trust me, I've seen so many parents leave their children with the fathers or the grandparents and go to India, go to yoga retreats, and they're doing this amazing elevational work. And when they come back, when they left, the gap of separation was maybe like this between them and their children. When they return, it's there. And the children resent being left behind while you go off and find yourself, Yeah. And so the retreat that I put together, there is a children's package there. So your babies can come. They'll be doing their own children adventure in Morocco. And you will have your healing massage. Oh, we have a large pampering package too. Massage and henna and all, So that's also available if anyone's interested. It's on the website as well.
Well, I as I'm listening to you too, and I see you moving, right? And
I'm sitting on this little cushion thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm not even in a chair.
Well, what I'm sensing is that perhaps there's some kind of yoga movement, something that expresses the energetics of your heart in this moment. So often we sit and we talk, we become talking heads. I'm also a dancer and a mover, and so I'm feeling. Is there a way to take that sacred energy that I can feel all around you and put it into a yoga movement for us?
You want me to do a yoga movement?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm asking.
I have on jeans, but I could probably. I'm trying to think. Well, I would probably say more so than I'm sitting cross-legged right now. You can't see the position, but I'm sitting just cross-legged and just up straight, so the energy is definitely flowing. No cramped chest.
Right.
And placing the first two, your first finger, your middle finger to your thumb. And in the mudra books, this is a very powerful mudra for drawing in manifestations, for drawing in intentions. And I do the yoga positions to help my body strengthen and to get the energy circulating, but I will spend a good 15 minutes in meditation, just taking really good deep breaths with my fingers in this mudra position and just sending light energy out from my body, from my heart, seeing it circulate back around in, out and in, out and in, really good, slow, deep breaths. And after a while, it begins to tickle. And it starts to feel, you feel this love energy you're sending out into the universe and seeing it return back, and watching it kind of run through the body and then back up and out. And then it's coming back in and it's running through and it's up and out. And I will spend good times in that position, as my form of prayer to center myself, to get ready for the day, to get ready to deal with the kids, to make sure that with each conversation, each expression, it's coming from my heart, especially I'm living in the house with other people. So you have like these energies that are mixed, but you want love there all the time, to get the best out of every experience, every word, every form of communication. So that's usually a really beautiful way to center the body and to connect with all of the energy in the source that's more than you. And that's and then also to add to this energy is to Kegel. So while you're sitting with your legs crossed, Kegeling with the vagina muscles.
Yeah.
And maybe to Kegel kind of fast and then hold it and then see the energy shoot out. And you'll feel it, you'll start to feel it. And that will start to also generate energy in the second chakra, which will start to shift, energetically. And once that energy shifts in the second chakra, the energy around you starts to shift. You start to see things happen in a really beautiful, magical way. And so 15 minutes of just deep breathing, seeing that energy flow, silent meditation, Kegeling, it takes you to the next place that I guess if you're watching this, you would want to be.
Yes. Actually, just having this exchange is already uplifting the energies, centering and balancing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because if you're watching this and you've made it through the whole thing, then it's connected, it's resonated with you. If you get the book, then there's something that is connecting between me, you, and the viewers, the readers, that there's a shift that they want to be a part of.
Yeah. Yes, totally. I feel that. So as you have, I'm so grateful for that sharing. As you've expressed so many heartful feelings towards the children, if there were young children watching you right now, what would you like to say to them?
Have fun. Ever stop having fun. It's something that as adults we don't do enough. We don't care about enough. I would definitely say stay away from drugs. They don't work. They make things worse. All forms of drugs.
Right.
Everything. But have fun. I don't do anything if I'm not having fun. I won't move unless I'm having fun.
Yeah, I hear you.
And to keep that innocence, to laugh and to be free and keep that light, where you just view the world as just, I don't know, like my children see the world in a different way. Like you're just beings, they don't know color separation. They don't know hair separation. They don't know culture separation. They just know beings. And that is so precious and so dear at this time in our planetary shift, to not see that, to be blanked from that, and just to operate with one another on an even human connected level, So I guess the only thing I can really say is just be happy. If there were any children, be happy, and love yourself so hard. You are so perfect and so amazing and so beautiful, just precisely the way you are. No shifts, no changes, nothing needs, just you. And that makes a big difference for as you grow, the type of grown up you'll be. And being happy is really is a big thing for children and for grown ups. We get stuck in these lives where we just get used to being miserable. Miserable is the new happy, right?
Yeah, your message is so for the child within all of us. It totally is.
I was going to say, I don't know if children can watch this because we're talking about other sexual things. But
right.
I would definitely say for the parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles watching, let the children be children. Don't stop their imagination. Don't stop them from dreaming. My daughters want to see unicorns and mermaids. And I told them, I'll take them all over this planet till we find one. I'm not going to stop that because they enjoy it. It makes them happy. They're looking forward to it. And it doesn't matter, you know, you also don't know what type of beings you're bringing in, what type of light elevated beings. And the children that are coming in now are becoming our teachers. You know, you might have a child that's not doing good in school. You can't medicate that child. You need to say, okay, what is it that you want? You know, and let that child tell you. My daughter was in a French school in Morocco, and she told me, the teacher kept saying, you know, Maya is not really focusing. She's not getting, you know, the work. And she said, Mommy, listen, I have a problem with my teacher. I said, what's, she was only 4. I said, what's your problem, baby? He's not letting me daydream. I need to go to a school where I can daydream in peace without someone constantly interrupting me.
Wow, I am so impressed. That is so true.
And I honor that about her. She knows herself. She knows what she needed. And I had to talk to the teacher. I said, you know, I honor, you know, what you would like to see the students do, but you know, just Maya's okay. Just let her kind of do her thing in her space. But you know, she's not in school now. Now we're back to homeschooling, and she can daydream as she pleases. But it was important for her to imagine, you know, and that more so than the children watching this, the people that have children, that know children, that are around children, to teachers and educators and even healers, you know, and yoga instructors and dance teachers. You know, there's a big separation in our society, which breaks my heart, between grown-ups and children. And we really have to merge that, because they are teaching us. They can see it. They can hear it. They know it, you know. They're fresh from the Creator. If anybody has a message on how to get to the next level of your elevation, it's going to be the babies. You know, we can talk amongst ourselves all we want, but we've had some serious experiences. We've had broken hearts, we've had pain, we've cried, we've had abuse, and that shifts what you can see. It shifts your reality. But the little ones, they just got here. You know, they still have it all fresh. And that's where we need to be really paying attention, you know, especially if your child is struggling in an area. Don't keep pushing them there. Help them to find and navigate the space that's comfortable. You know, everything isn't for everybody, you know. Things are precise and particular to each individual being. And that, you know, let the babies just be happy and be free and enjoy themselves, and take those video games out of their hands.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. I do. Because what you're speaking to is our imagination, our absolute imagination. That should almost be reintegrated into homeschooling.
Yeah.
Is, you know, it could be the program of daydreaming imagination. And I do find, those devices right now are being very limiting. They're defining even an electromagnetic sphere that's containing them energetically.
Absolutely. Right now, we're in a house, and there's 6 rooms of puzzles, games, art, toys. They don't even have a television here. They have horses outside, rabbits, goats, chickens. All the day, the children are running and playing and making art, and by 8 o'clock, they're wiped out.
That's it.
And I strongly encourage this. That's why I wanted to travel with the girls, and I'm looking for places, particularly as we go through selfless service, that don't have televisions, that don't have a lot of gadgets. I don't want to see an iPad and a tablet all day long. I want to see the children using their mind, and that is really going to make a big difference spiritually, you know, in our evolution, where we go, if you can connect. Because if we stay connected on this, you know, device all the time, you can't hear God, you can't hear your angels, you can't hear anything. Just, you know, just with the media, what's happening on this screen, and that would, definitely shut it down. So that's what I would definitely say.
Well, I want to say that I've really enjoyed sharing your love wisdom. And Yeah, yeah. And I definitely want to send my greatest blessings to you for journeying and on this selfless journey that you're taking with your children.
Yeah, with my babies.
Yes, with your babies. And I just think, the messages that you've shared here, I look forward to them being shared with many others. Many
Oh,
others.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess at the end, if I'm more than happy to for you to share the email because I am available to answer questions and to I get a lot of emails with people saying, I want to travel, I want to take my children, I started homeschooling. What advice can you give me?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind writing and connecting. Like, I've been to these countries. I know these people. This might be a little challenging. This will be super easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more than welcome to share the email, the website, if anyone wants to connect and communicate with me one-on-one or personally. That's
Oh,
fine as well.
that's a beautiful invitation, especially right now. I'm surrounded by many travelers, and that's my particular interest. It's like, okay, now, how'd you get that ticket for 15 euros? And what was a good date to sign up for that?
Well, I would definitely tell you Ryanair.com. Ryanair flies from Morocco to all of Europe, and they give you a fare finder. So you just push the country, and they'll tell you all the times where the tickets are the cheapest to go. Literally, 10 euro. You can just dip,
That's
dip.
amazing. Okay, so now there you just named one of your sponsors. Ryanair should be supporting you on your
They
travels.
should be.
Yeah, you're spreading the word.
Yeah, I just send them an email. Yeah,
And
but
well,
definitely.
before we part, Maha-tara, is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything you'd like to include in this interview?
Woof, we talked about so much already.
I know we have. We have. It's been
um,
beautiful.
if I can, I guess, leave the viewers with anything, I would say that this life, I've lived. I know for a fact I've lived a couple hundred times. I've met half the people in this life that I've lived with. But if you were under the impression that you only lived once, make the most of that life. Have fun with it. See things, experience things. Don't allow yourself to be an unnecessary stress and struggle. That's not life. That's not living. One of the quotes I always say is life is for living, not wishing. Don't wish you could have a better life. Have it now, today. And the things that aren't working, the things that make you stressed and agitated, eliminate them. Separate and find your peace, not with drugs.
Right on. Right on.
I have to keep iterating that. No alcohol, no drugs,
All
no
right.
marijuana. But finding a center in yourself to connect with what it was that you wanted as a child. What was
Mm-hmm.
the feeling and the energy that you wanted before, and connect with that. That would be my last words. If you didn't hear anything else from this, just I promise you, I know for a fact life is not meant to be painful. It's not meant to be a struggle. Why? I can't tell you that. It's another. But it's not. It's meant to be happy, to be full of love, light, and joy. And if you claim that in your life, in your existence, you will have that every second of every day. And how do I know it? Because I am a walking expression of that. I've done this journey before, so I can tell you I'm on it right now. So I can tell you that happiness and your joy and your love for everything around you is who we are, is who we were born to be. It's what we were born to experience. And please, please, please find that in your life. And if you need any assistance, it is my pleasure to be of service. So contact me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns.
You're absolutely beautiful. Urban Gypsy? Yes? The
Yes.
Urban Gypsy, Maha-tara Youssef. Thank you so much, and I'm just so grateful for you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's
Yeah.
been beyond magical. This was like the perfect time to have this interview, like in this second chapter, I guess, of my life.
All right, it's like you're going through new passageway, many portals, blessings all the way.
I know, it's so like divinely perfect to have it right now. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful for you connecting with me.
Absolutely.
And reaching out, because I had been recommended by one quite a few times. By different women who have traveled. They were like, you have to connect with these women. You have to connect with this station. You have to get in contact. And I was like, okay. So I thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I hope we cross paths again.
Thanks,
all right.
Kat.
All right. Blessings, dear one.
All right. Peace. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Broadcasting a new paradigm on the One Network.